Presentation today will be very brief under the title Ashrae, the Learning Institute. Maybe everybody knows Ashrae, and maybe some of you knows Ashrae is a learning institute which extent I will give you a brief presentation this morning. The content of the presentation will be three major subjects: introduction to Ashrae, then Ashrae, the Learning Institute, then conclusion. Ashrae, as everybody knows, it was the American Society for Heating Refrigeration Engineers, but today it's a global international organization for heating, air conditioning and refrigeration engineers. This is because Ashrae members are spread all over the world. More than 130 countries has got branches or sections or Ashrae chapters. Our core value is 5 issues: excellence, commitment, integrity, collaboration, and volunteerism. Who we are? We are more than 55,000 members in more than 130 countries, more than 5,000 student members, more than 170 chapters, more than 250 student branches, and more than 7,500 young people. We are consulting engineers, contractors, manufacturers, manufacturing representatives, architects, and students. This is our organization. Of course, we do have the membership, then board of directors, then we go down to 3 councils. And below the councils, there are the regions, there are the committees, technical committees, subcommittees, and sub-committees as well, in order to form the structure of Ashrae organization. Council or councils are formed from all regions. We do have representatives. For example, our region at large, we belong to the region at large. There are members representing our region. Ashrae leadership, of course, through the board of directors, through the councils, through the technical committees and technical subcommittees and other Ashrae committees. Membership is perfect for many times we receive questions. Can I be an Ashrae member? Does my qualification allow me to be an Ashrae member? This is the answer. Consulting engineer, design engineer, architects, contractors, code officials, facility managers, facility management, project application engineers, technicians, industrial manufacturing engineers, public utility engineers, students, professors, sales engineers, distributors. So if you are one of those categories, yes, you can apply to the Ashrae. This is just a general brief about Ashrae, the society structure, and who we are. We'll go now to Ashrae, the learning institute. Why do we say Ashrae is a learning institute? Because we write standards, we write guidelines. We do have, in order to do so, we do have standard committees, standard activities, general information. So we'll be having more than 70 standards and more than 50 guidelines. It is difficult to talk about all of them. I have taken just 4 or 5 major standards to give you an idea about them. First, there are standards and there are guidelines. What's the difference? Ashrae guidelines, those are the best practices. And Ashrae standards, where you can see the minimum requirement. As we have said, Ashrae writes standards and guidelines in its fields of expertise to guide industry in the delivery of goods and services to the public. Yes, what do we do is available for the public, for everyone to make use of them. It's not meant to be for the Ashrae members. The Standard Committee is a standing committee of the society. It is responsible for submittal to the Ashrae Board of Directors of all code language documents, the standards written in mandatory enforceable language, and other standards, guidelines, and addenda in the fields of heating, refrigerating, air conditioning, and ventilating. There are 7 standing subcommittees of the Standards Committee. So we do have the Standard Committee, and we do have standing subcommittees. International Standards Advisory Subcommittees, Inter-Society Liaison Subcommittees, Planning Policy and Interpretation Subcommittees, Standards Project Liaison Subcommittees, Technical Committee Liaison Subcommittee, Code Interaction Subcommittee, Standard Reaffirmation Subcommittee. Ashrae develops standards for both in its members and other professional concerned. Standard and guidelines. Ashrae publishes the following 3 types of voluntary standards. Method of measurement or test. Standard design and standard practice. Ashrae does not write rating systems similar to LEED or BRIAM or GSAS. Ashrae, this is very important for everyone to know. Ashrae is accredited by the American National Standards Institute, ANSI, and follows ANSI's requirement for due process and standards development. As I told you, I will talk about just a few standards in brief. I will take Ashrae 55, who is lead professionals or GSAS professionals, has already some knowledge about Ashrae 55 because it is part of the GSAS requirement. So it is the thermal environmental conditions for human occupancy. What's the purpose of this? The purpose of this standard is to specify the combinations of indoor thermal environmental factors and personal factors that will produce thermal environmental conditions acceptable to a majority of the occupants within the space. We go to Ashrae standard 62.1, which is the ventilation standard. Also, it is very famous and very important for the rating, most of the rating system in the world. What's the purpose of the standard 62.1? Ventilation for acceptable indoor air. The purpose? Specify minimum ventilation rates and other measures intended to provide indoor air quality that is acceptable to human occupants and that minimizes adverse health effects. Ashrae standard 90.1, which is the energy standard. Also, it's a very famous one, and most of the educational centers and institutions and rating system, they refer to the energy standard Ashrae 90.1. What's the purpose? The purpose of this standard is to provide minimum requirements for the energy efficient design of the buildings, except low-rise residential buildings for design, construction, plan for operation and maintenance, utilization of on-site renewable energy resources. The last one, which is also very famous and newly established, where Professor Douglas Zantz will talk in details about it, Ashrae 189.1, standard for the design of high performance green building except low-rise residential building. What's the purpose of this standard? The purpose of this standard is to provide minimum requirements for the design, construction, and plan for operation of high performance green buildings to balance environmental responsibility, resource efficiency, occupant comfort, and well-being and community sensitivity, and support the goal of development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Okay, we produced standards and guidelines, altogether around 150. How to maintain them, how to keep them upgraded always and updated always. Yes. Ashrae, we're not talking about every single standard. So Ashrae supports the use of Ashrae standard and Ashrae handbook internationally. Producers and policies are in place to promote such uses while protecting Ashrae's intellectual property and technical reliability. Agreements vary depending source of request. I will just give a brief that the maintenance or accepting a change in the standard it done either from the Ashrae members or from anyone in the industry. It's very simple. Every Ashrae standard has got a format where you can write down your observation, your comment, your idea, and address it to the relevant technical comment. And they will take care of, and they will reply to you either positive or negative. And in this way, this is one of the procedures to maintain the standard. There is specifically technical committee to take care of the maintenance of the standard. It meets every 6 months, once at the annual, once at the winter meeting and once at the summer meeting, and it meets when required in between to discuss, the comments or the issue or an idea to innovate or to enhance on the standard in order to make sure that, yes, the standard is up to the level, upgraded, and meet the requirement of the HVAC industry in the market. Plus, we do have the famous Ashrae handbooks, the 4 handbooks, okay? So, Ashrae handbook, there is a specific committee for those. The committee identifies HVAC and technical information needs of members for a series of Ashrae handbook volumes, recommends, maintains policies, oversees production and delivery of the handbooks, reports to Publishing and Educational Council. The handbook committee, HBC, is responsible for preparing and publishing the Ashrae handbook, formulates editorial policies, establishes the overall philosophy and guidelines for the handbook to ensure well-rounded, authoritative publication consistent with the mission of Ashrae. The committee or its representative shall reply in writing to all comments received that pertain to handbook content or procedure. The committee assigns the preparation of chapters to appropriate technical committees. Establish the scope of the chapters assigned to them. Select reviewers and revisers. The reviewers suggest deletions and additions. The revisers organize the material and rewrite it within the guidelines established by the committee and as described in the authors and revisers guide. The volumes are, just for information, the handbook issuing starts at 1922. So almost more than 90 years. So the 4 handbooks are refrigeration, HVAC applications, HVAC systems and equipment, and fundamentals. Those handbooks actually given every year to every Ashrae member for free. Who's Ashrae member? He receives a copy of the handbook every year. So those are the indexes of each book. What does it consist of and what are the chapters? Each handbook has got more than 40 and 50 chapters addressing all the subjects of HVAC and other matters. So we do have so far standards, guidelines, handbooks, and we do conferences. Why the conferences is part of the international, part of the Learning Institute? Yes, because we learn, we teach, there are papers, there are workshops, there are technical presentations. We meet from all over the world. Now, within this small conference, there are speakers and DL coming from the state, from UK, from Saudi Arabia, from Egypt, and from Qatar as well. So we do have speakers coming from all over the world to discuss ideas and to share their ideas with us. So, as the society, we conduct 2 main conferences per year. One in winter, in January every year, along with the HVAC exhibition taking place in the United States. And the second one in line with the summer meeting, also there is a conference where there will be more than 70 or 80 presentations and papers and panel discussions. So we do have, as far as the conferences, we do have the summer and winter conferences, along with the summer and winter meetings of the society. At the regional level, we conduct the CRC, where we have also technical conference, and we conduct in parallel also conferences. For example, this year in Qatar, we had the first international conference on energy and air environment took place in Qatar in February this year, where we received 60 speakers in this conference. And at the chapter level, we usually conduct technical meetings twice every month. Let's say for our chapter here, we do 2 technical meetings per month. One it is for members only. It's a matter of just 1 hour, a technical presentation, and the other meeting open for anyone to attend. It goes for minimum 4 hours. So we do have a technical presentation on 31st of this month at the Millennium Hotel, sponsored and conducted by Honeywell Trent from UK. The gentleman is here. He is waiting. He's in the queue, to give the presentation, isn't it? Yes. I will not bother you. How do we form the technical committees, and how many technical committees do we have? So we do have technical committee for each standard, a technical committee for each standard maintenance, and we do have a special committee if there is no specific standard for an item to be discussed or to be taken care by Ashrae. So after the conferences, we do have in the society a distinguished lecturer program. In order to speak on behalf of Ashrae, to Ashrae members, or to the public, you have to be approved by the society, by Ashrae. There is a special procedure to follow in order to get the approval. Yes, Professor Douglas, yeah? So there is a certain procedure to follow in order to get the approval from the society, allowing you, authorizing you actually to speak on their behalf for certain subjects. You get approval on the presentation as well, not only yourself on the presentations. So everything is under control, everything is well reviewed, well assessed in order to get the maximum benefit of that. Papers. Of course, for the conference and for others, we receive papers from Ashrae members and from others as well. Papers, it will be reviewed by special reviewers, approved, accredited by the society, controlled by a special committee to take care of. Depends on the level of the paper, depends on the level of the conference, if the paper is related to a conference. So sometimes there are two reviewers, sometimes there are 3 reviewers, and it goes to the committee for the final approval. Of course, papers, if it is related to the conference, it will be published, it will be on the flash and given to everyone. This is already reviewed and accepted by the society, and or if it is separated, has nothing to do with the conference, it will be also reviewed and published in the either the website or the publication like the Ashrae magazine or journal or newsletter. Of course, more, we do have the webcast. We do webinars. So you can attend at your place Ashrae seminars and Ashrae presentations and Ashrae conferences at your place. You don't need to travel nor to USA, neither to Philippines to attend a conference. It's available. We announce ahead of time, and we give you all the details how you connect, and you can go and attend the webinar. Moreover, which is very important, you have the Ashrae certification. Ashrae certifies professionals. You get certified in certain field, and of course there is procedure to do that. You have to apply. There is just a small fee for that. They will give you the materials, the guideline, then you prepare yourself for the exam. Let's see how many courses do we have here? Okay, we do have available 6 courses. Building Energy Assessment Professional Certification. Building Energy Modeling Professional Certification. Commissioning Process Management Professional Certification. Healthcare Facility Design Professional Certification. High Performance Building Design Professional Certification. Operations and Performance Management Professional Certification. So any one of you can apply and can get himself certified in those where it will allow him to upgrade his knowledge, to upgrade his ability to compete better in the market for, of course, better salary, yeah? Of course, there is a procedure if you apply and if you attend the exam, what do you get? If you fail, how much you pay, how much you do the exam, and how you maintain the certification through attending seminars and getting edge and so on. Next one. Actually, we do have also the e-learning. We do e-learning also is available on the website. You can go through this one. You can attend courses. You apply, you pay the fee, and you will get the course, and you will complete an exam for it. We do have e-newsletter. Also, it is issued every Thursday, and it's available online. Insights. Ashrae Journal. Ashrae Journal, it's available. It's available for free for every Ashrae member. Every Ashrae member receives 1 copy every month, where there are very, very important subjects published in that, and most of them are papers. Most of them are papers, okay? Approved papers. We do research, of course. Ashrae does research in order to support in order to make sure that our standard and guidelines and handbooks and specifications are correct. We have to do researches for it. How do we do it? 2 ways. We go through educational institutes or outsource it, and at the same time, we as Ashrae members, we donate money for the research. So the researches are done are done by the donation of the Ashrae members. So the money paid for that, if we are outsourcing the research, is done in proposal for that. There is a motion. Actually, we have given a motion from our region requesting the approval on getting companies Ashrae member, and we have given our explanation for the benefits back to the society. Okay, but we don't have a system for the engineering bodies. Engineering bodies, yes, they can be. There is a collaboration and affiliation and so on. So where organization, engineering bodies, yeah, they can be with us. But so far, for the companies, not yet approved. Thank you. It's a good question. For more? Thank you.